Affected over 8,000 are only
The governments in Hong Kong has declared a state of emergency
against the infectious disease.
Washington State announced
In the
a
last 24
of
hours, there were
coronavirus.
almost 9 times more cases reported outside China.
Bobby. It's Bobby.
Sorry?
It's Bobby.
Since December 2019, the novel coronavirus has spread all over the world, causing panic, sickness, severe drops in global economies, racism, and many deaths. Today we're going to talk about this deadly virus because so many of you guys have been asking me to make a video on it for a long time now, especially since I live in Hong Kong, and I've kind of stayed silent on the matter, mostly because I avoid these types of topics because I feel like I don't have anything of importance to add to the conversation that scientists or doctors haven't already, and I feel really nervous to make it even now that I'm doing it, even though I have like papers here with points I want to cover, but I feel like it's really hard to cover everything. What if I miss something? What if I'm wrong about something? Because it's so new and keeps changing. I don't know. So just note the date below, things could change. But I figured that I could at least tell you what life has been like and give you my opinion and my recommendations. It's not to say that you should do this yourself. Please always look to your local health authorities and WHO for information. Since Hong Kong was one of the first places that it really broke out, and the situation has really been minimized by the efforts of Hong Kong people, I feel like other countries can learn a lot from the steps and the precautions we've taken here. So if this video offers you any good advice, or maybe pushes you to do more research, or gives you a little bit of comfort and helps you calm down a bit, then it is definitely worth it. And I feel like this is probably something I should do more often. I should be giving my opinions. I don't know, maybe this is a start to something new. So in this video, I am gonna be sharing with you what exactly this disease is, how to protect yourself, or ways in which I've been protecting myself and ways people around me have been protecting themselves, and also what life has been like in Hong Kong recently through clips I've taken last week. On December 8th, 2019, a patient who visited the Huanan seafood market in Wuhan was admitted to the hospital for flu-like symptoms and difficulty breathing. 5 days later, his wife, who hadn't been to the seafood market, was admitted to the hospital with a pneumonia, making it very clear that something was going on and it was able to be transmitted human to human. Then many more cases were discovered, and on January 1st, 2020, that seafood market was closed because it was believed that this new virus was transferred via the animals being sold there. Now we all know that this new virus has been named the 2019 novel coronavirus, or the disease is known as COVID-19. CO for corona, V for virus, D for disease, 19 for the year it was discovered, 2019. And this name came about from the way it looks. The genetic material is actually encased by this spiky outer shell that resembles a crown. A crown in Latin is known as corona, so no, it's not named after the beer. Coronaviruses are common in certain animals. It circulates within them and is a normal thing, but every now and then it gets transferred to humans due to mutation changes or increased contact. It was actually believed that this virus came from a bat, but that has not been confirmed. The source is still unknown. And there was a video circulating of a woman eating a bat, and people believe that was from Wuhan, but it has been proven that that video wasn't even from China. So that was just a false rumor circulating. So you need to be aware of those things. I will touch more on that later, but a lot of things in the media are untrue, and a lot of people are portraying things in a way that they want, promoting a lot of hate and panic and just things that don't help anyone at all. All right, so what we do know is it's now being transmitted human to human via water droplets when someone sneezes or coughs, or through contaminated surfaces. When someone sneezes, more than 10,000 droplets are released into the air and can reach up to 8 meters. When someone coughs, about 1,000 to 2,000 droplets are released into the air that can reach up to 6 meters. Actually, even by talking, it is said that you produce about 500 droplets per minute. So I'm just dropping all over you guys right now. So knowing this and not knowing the exact incubation rate of the novel coronavirus, I've heard anything from 2 to 14 days. I've heard that it's like 5.6 days on average for it to come out, and I've heard that it can take up to 24 days to come out. So there's a lot of people living with it invisibly, which means that anyone could have the virus and not be showing any symptoms, so they'll just be going out about living their normal lives and unknowingly be spreading it amongst many people. This art is the one art we have in our house. All of our walls are empty except for this one. My husband had to put it here because it's his favorite manga, Akira, and something recently has popped up on the internet about this manga because it took place, it was written in the 80s in Japan, and I believe it was first aired on TV in December 1988. I remember that because it's when I was born. And in this story, they actually said that in 2019 there would be big protests and Tokyo would be set to host the Olympics. But there's this, they show this sign, and under the sign it says just cancel it. There's just a lot of crazy similarities and things happening. Hopefully the Olympics doesn't actually get canceled, but we're yet to find out. But essentially the writers of Akira actually predicted the future, and that's pretty crazy. I personally believe that Hong Kong has good control over the situation, and when people ask me if I'm scared about being here right now, the answer is no, I'm not. I'm not at all. I think because Hong Kong people went through SARS in 2003, they know exactly what to do and which precautions to take, and they took them immediately. So right away you saw people going out and buying masks like crazy, wearing them, practicing really good hygiene, really cleaning around them really well. This was very obvious in the fact that there were no masks available, there was no cleaning supplies available in supermarkets or anywhere, and the prices of them, if you could find them, went skyrocketing high. Now you're starting to see a lot of the products come back onto the shelves as the shops restock and people calm down and the cases calm down. Okay, so that supermarket wasn't that bad. I've seen a lot of photos and videos where everything is off the shelves, even food like rice and stuff. In general, the cleaning supplies were quite low and there wasn't much toilet paper left, but there still was some, and there's definitely a lot of food to choose from. There's also a lot of new products to choose from, which may or may not work. It's quite obvious that practicing good hygiene will reduce the spread of illnesses, but what's not so obvious is the mask thing. Does it work? Does it not work? Is there any point in buying them? For this, let's look into what exactly a mask does. When choosing a proper surgical mask and also wearing it properly, these points are key here, the inside filter effectively separates up to nanoscale size particles and absorbs them on its fibers. Therefore, if you're sick, it will prevent from your water droplets getting out and infecting other people, and then if other people are sick, since the outside is waterproof, it will prevent from their water droplets getting in and infecting you. Now, I realize that people have different opinions on face masks and whether to wear them or not wear them and on its effectiveness, and I realize that it's not such a common practice in other countries outside of Asia. When I first came to Asia and saw that, I thought it was really scary and I didn't get it, but having lived here for a long time, I really appreciate it, and I feel like it's very respectful towards other people in that if you are sick and you do need to go out, you wear one and you don't infect other people. Over here in Hong Kong, the Center for Health Protection advises us to wear masks, especially in crowded areas and on public transportation. Because the population is so dense that one person unknowingly carrying it could have really fast-acting, devastating effects. There's also the social responsibility to take care of the elderly and the immunocompromised. You yourself may feel like you're strong and you could beat this if you got it, but the elderly and say someone with asthma would think differently. And a lot of people here live with their parents or their grandparents, so they just don't want to take the risk. Actually, some businesses won't even let you in if you're not wearing a mask. But some people in Hong Kong are choosing not to wear masks, and I know in other countries it's advised not to wear them yet. They're saying it's not necessary. What has been proven necessary is to practice good hygiene. You need to wash your hands really well for at least 20 seconds because surfaces that you touch outside could get contaminated, and then the virus can enter your body and your organs via your mucous membranes. So don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose, don't touch your mouth. Wash your hands or use sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol content. Also, be sure to wash your phone. I think people forget that you're always touching this all day, so this could contain a lot of bacteria and viruses. The Hong Kong health authorities are also advising to practice good draining pipe care, especially if you live in an apartment building, because we had this one case here where someone was infected and then they were able to infect more people in the building via the draining pipes, and the whole building had to evacuate. So they're saying that you should add about half a liter of water to the draining outlets at least once a week. Also, schools here were immediately closed and they're not gonna open up again until mid-April, I think it is. The date keeps getting postponed, and offices are also closed. Just arrived at Tom's office and nobody is here. So this is actually the case for a lot of companies in Hong Kong, and schools are just not going out, staying home from work, staying home from school, staying home as much as possible, and that's preventing it from spreading further. Today is one of those days that I have to go out because I've left this to the very last minute. I need to do my taxes. Taxes are due in March in Canada, so I need to get that done, not only for here but also for Hong Kong, and not only my personal but also my business. So I just have a lot to do that I need to do now. So I'm going to meet my accountant, and then I also need to renew my passport because that's expiring and I've left that to the very last minute. So I need to go take a passport photo and then drop off the application at the Canadian Embassy. And then I will come back home swiftly. So upon entering most buildings in Hong Kong, they have this security check. I think it's an infrared scanner to scan that you're not well. If they send something, they will basically take you out and quarantine you and check you. There's hand sanitizers everywhere. And then once I got to here, the receptionist actually scanned my head too to check that I don't have a fever or anything. When you walk into restaurants or a restaurant here, they have these little mini temperature readers. Thermometers. Check your temperature when you walk in before you sit down. So everyone is super cautious, down to restaurants, small businesses. I thought it was a thing for bigger buildings, but it's everywhere. Everyone has little hand ones.
Thank you.
People are being told to just stay home and basically self-quarantine, which is what I've been doing. I'm used to working from home, but usually I would go out to shoot content, so that part has been a bit difficult. But I've been keeping myself busy. I have been working on my shop and cleaning my husband's Lego to do flat lays and trying out very complicated fashion trends. What do we think? I don't know how I feel. Maybe this is a bit too much. Or is it cool? I think I should change the pants. Oh, I don't get this shirt. The jeans are a little bit too tight. I think I need something a little bit more comfy looking, slightly more baggier. And now my hair. I'm not sure if I should wear like a messy, undone look, like I just woke up and threw on these very comfortable clothes, or do I put it in a ponytail? Because a ponytail is a little bit more casual and a little bit more me. All right, I think I'm happy with this. I feel like shooting here would be good. So I realized what it is. I feel like this shirt looks a little bit too boxy for this type of look. I need something a little bit more slim because I want it to look effortless but not messy. So I need to find another shirt. I found this one in Tom's closet. It's a bit more slim fitted, a bit more crisp. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. I feel like I looked a little bit too uncomfortable because why would I just be standing in that area? I feel like I need to look like I'm about to go somewhere maybe, like I'm about to leave the house. I'm about to step out the door to go to a meeting or something. And then I'm just casually like leaning. Alright, what if I'm sitting here? This looks more comfy. Very comfy in my stiff white blouse and jeans sitting on a metal cabinet. This is like just this is a normal thing everyone does. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, right. Smells like it's burning. Oh, it's stuck. Oh. It's been tough. But no, what's actually been tough is the amount of racism I've seen being spread. People are using this as an excuse to just spread hatred. People are getting beaten up, people are getting things thrown at them, people are being refused of services, people are getting attacked on social media. I can't believe people nowadays are so ignorant to assume that all Asians are Chinese, and even if they are Chinese, that they come from mainland China, and even if they come from mainland China, that they have that virus. There's so many Chinese people from all over the world that are even born in different countries.
The risk of me having coronavirus is the same as any other non-Chinese person in London or in the UK.
The virus doesn't choose who it infects based on race or ethnicity or religion or anything. Anyone could be infected. And even the people inside China with the virus don't need your judgment and hate right now. They need your kindness and compassion more than ever. They're dealing with a nightmare right now. There's people, like, they're stuck there, and the hospitals don't have enough beds. There's stories of people going to a hospital and then being refused of services, and because they don't want to go out and infect other people, they're jumping to their death. There's another story of a Chinese film director called Chiang Kai. His parents both got infected, and then they went to the hospital. There was no beds left, so they brought them back home, and a few days later they died, but they also infected Chiang and his sister. His sister died a few days later, and then he also died, and now his wife is also sick and she's still alive but in intensive care. But there's just nowhere for people to go, so they're trapped at home, and the whole families are getting sick and passing away, and it's just extremely heartbreaking, and people are just trying to get through this and battling it, and they just really need people's kindness right now, not judgment, not hate, not racism. Everyone's trying to do the best they can and trying to be cautious. Just treat people with kindness. Don't treat them like a walking virus. Don't treat them like a walking terrorist. Don't treat them like a walking criminal. I recently had one act of kindness towards me that I really appreciated. I had to take a passport photo. So while I was waiting for the photo to get developed, I grabbed some lunch at a supermarket and I went to a nearby park to eat it and wait. And I didn't know this, but I was sitting by a garbage can and a man suddenly started yelling virus at me, and I was like, what? And he was trying to explain that people will throw their masks in the garbage and it's really dirty and the virus could be floating around. And so he actually picked up my drink and moved it far away from me and sat me down in another area, and I thought that was just so kind. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to care. He has moved me to this location. So kind and caring. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even think about that. A lot of people have been messaging me to ask me if they should keep their travel plans to Hong Kong or Japan or Korea, and I think if you're traveling to a zone that's high risk, I personally wouldn't do it. I would postpone my trip because to me it's just not worth it. But you should weigh the pros and cons. If you absolutely have to go there, then be sure to practice all of the things I mentioned in the video. But if you don't have to go there, I would just wait. Also, once you get there, a lot of things are being closed or canceled, so you may not be able to do everything you wanted to do. And then when you return home after, you may have to be quarantined, so that may affect your work and whatever else you have to do with your life. So yeah, you do have to consider that. Alright, so let's summarize all of this. What I want you to take away from this video is to stay alert, but don't panic. Panicking will cause you to sleep less, which is gonna affect your immunity, and that's not what you need right now. You don't need to go out and overstock on everything so that other people can't have it. It's not gonna help anyone. I've noticed that the stocks in Hong Kong have been replenished, so if everyone just bought what they needed, we would all benefit. Stay calm, get enough sleep, eat healthy, work out. All of these things boost your immunity, and also be sure to practice good hygiene. Be sure to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Consider wearing a mask if you're going to a very crowded area or using public transportation. Stay informed from your local health agencies. Try to stay home unless you really need to go out. Don't be racist, and watch Akira. I guess that's all I have to say. So now you know how I feel about the virus. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you in my next video.